pattern for this piece. So I'll have you just trace it onto a piece of paper before you leave, so you'll have the pattern. This is the grain line, the fold here. So you want to mark that on both sides. You notice I have the piece folded in half, and I am cutting this on the grain. I know you will measure evenly in from the fold here to know where the grain line is. So if you mark this, remember to leave your 3/8 inch seam allowance. Or actually, you could probably even just trace it onto a piece of your muslin, and then you can cut the other one. Oop. Don't want it to slide. Sorry, I'm trying to do it to where I'm not obscuring the camera. All right, my fabric scissors. Again, you want to mark this and measure and mark. I'm just going to do this because of time crunch. Here. So what we're doing with this one, we're going to do the convex curve, which will be the top. We'll do the corded seam, which is the bottom, and we'll do the French seam, which will be the sides. So the first thing I want to do, we'll come over, I'll borrow this machine. You want to have your 2.5 stitch. You start at the very edge. Already trying to create bobbin art. There we go. I'm going to back stitch right here. And again, did you see what happens when I pull? It's going to stretch out, so I don't want to pull it. I want to make sure that I just let it go, just guide it where I want it to go. Of course, you're going to want to pin this before you start stitching. Stitch right on your line. Slide. Okay. There's my stitch. Could somebody hand me the fabric scissors? Thank you. So again, you want to grade, so I'm going to cut half of the seam allowance away on one side only.
Both of those outfits were yours, weren't they?
I'll just do one side so you can see what it looks like while I'm doing this demo. Oh, no I won't, because I have to do the whole thing because it's going to be finished when I'm done. So I'm grading my side. So this is the part where, you know, on the other curve where we just did clips. On this kind of a curve, because once we fold it in, if we just clip it, there's going to be a lot of extra. So we want to do these little notches. So we'll cut all these little V's. Again, you're cutting up to, almost up to the stitch line, but not past it because you don't want to cut your stitch line.
Wow. Oh, it's beautiful. Perfect. Yeah.
And here we have our concave, so I'm just going to clip there because that's the same direction as the other one we did previously. So, notches. I'm gonna look like a mess. Okay, so now you'll notice when we turn it, you'll have this nice curved line going that direction. So the first step you want to do is do that and press it. So your sides line up. Okay, the next one we're going to do is you're going to turn it back after you press it. Can someone hand me that piece of cord that's by my stuff there? And I am going to do a 1/2 inch. Wait, no, I'm only going to do, I'm going to do a 1/4 inch stitch from the edge. Again, small stitch length. Back stitch. Again, you'll want to pin this before you do this so that it stays nice and straight. Back stitch. Thank you. I'm just going to pin this in here so that you can see what I'm doing. And you're going to turn it inside out from the side so that you can push it through. So now this will have already been pressed, so that'll be nice and clean going that way. My cord will be right here. I'm going to make sure that it is just over the stitch line. It's going to be right on this one side, and as I turn these back together, it'll be sandwiched here. This is so tiny, it's hard to see. Maybe we do want to do the bigger cord, but I'll do this for now. You want to make sure it's on the same side. And then you'll want to switch to your zipper foot. It's on here. That's why I can't find it. Well, I'll flip it over just so for time's sake. And oh, I hate not knowing how this goes. There we go. It's in the right place now. So you want to make sure that Your cording is sandwiched here, and you can put the needle down, and you'll just top stitch right next to that. It wants to be as close to the cording as possible without going over it. It'll be just a little bit of messing around trying to get it in the right place. Oh, of course. If you press this side first before you turn it, it'll be easier because then your edge will be nice and clean. So you'll do that the whole way across to where it'll look like this. See how it's got a little bit of a definition? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then once you've got the top finished and the bottom finished, you're going to do a French seam. So this is all pressed and this is all pressed. So you know when you do a seam on a garment, you usually want to make sure that that you are stitching the right sides together so that the seam is on the inside. French seam is a little different because you kind of do it backwards. You put the wrong sides together so your seam is on the outside. So the first thing you do is do a narrow seam there. And at this point, maybe you should mark an X on the wrong side before you do this so that it's clear that you, oh, of course. Because I'm doing a demonstration. Try again. Grabbing the cording is the problem. So sometimes if that's you've got a hard edge that you're going to be going over, you might want to start in and then back up and then come back. So I'll do that. I'll back up. Do this. So you will trim all of this down pretty narrowly, and then you'll turn it inside out. Obviously I would trim off all my threads as well. Turn it inside out, which is now, this is now the outside of the sleeve. So I'm going to do it on the opposite side of the cording just so it doesn't fight me to start. And I will stitch on the other side of where that I can feel where my seam allowance is right there. So I'm going to want to stitch a little to the side of that. So when you trim, now it's enclosed. So if this was chiffon or something that was really lightweight, it would all be enclosed. It'd be nice and neat. You don't need to worry about it fraying. You turn it right side out. And this might be a nice sleeve with a top edge with the corded bottom, and it would be all finished. Okay? All right, thank you.